But either way, the Call Me Crazy show.
Here's on Arizona, the Call Me Crazy show here in Indio, California, man.
You see that? The Call Me Crazy show. 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 The Call Me Crazy show.
My name is Ray Daniel. I'm a crazy motherfucker. I get so wasted on TV.
The Call Me Crazy show. And I can't tell you what, Matt.
What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy show. Call Me Crazy show. Call Me Crazy show. It's the Call Me Crazy show. But anyways, this is episode 189. And there's almost 200 episodes coming up. We should be hitting that around at the end of the year. But anyways, it's been a long and strange journey up to this point. Hard to believe we're past the 10-year mark, right? We're past the 10-year mark. March with the 10-year anniversary of Call Me Crazy. Now, as of today, March 31st, tomorrow, April Fool's Day, which reminds me I'm gonna have to get up at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning and place a couple phone calls and say I'm in jail somewhere, I won the lottery, and there's a bomb in the mailbox outside. Oops. I didn't say that out loud, did I? No. But anyways, 10 years of doing Call Me Crazy, and to tell the truth, there's been times where I went through this hiatus, John Lennon lost weekend kind of things, and by lost weekend, it's not really a weekend, it's really a year and a half, a constant Saturday and Friday every day. But anyways, in the span of 10 years of doing Call Me Crazy, I have done a lot of things in my life, been to a lot of places now, met a lot of people, met a lot of different celebrities, and I accomplished a lot, I think, in the past 10 years. Not only with my TV show, but in terms of my professional life and my personal life, and who I have to thank for is T-Triple-C, Martin, Catola from End of Television, and for everybody in the city of Tucson for making it possible. Hopefully I'll be here another 10 years for the Call Me Crazy show. And I can't believe, here we go, episode 189. First thing I want to talk about is that, I haven't talked about it, the last show, is that John McCain now is the official Republican nominee for the U.S. presidency. Doesn't even matter, I mean, for this point. Right now, in terms of the people voting for Hillary Clinton and Obama, as we all know, Call Me Crazy, official Hillary Clinton supporter. I hope Hillary Clinton keeps winning more of her admirers over to her side. I have nothing against Barack Obama. I can feel Hillary Clinton to be a better president. She knows more about Washington. But anyways, I'm kind of glad that all the news lately for the past year, almost for the past year and a half, if you haven't noticed, has all been about the campaign, the presidential candidates, and it keeps winding down. It's going to keep going all the way till November of this year. That's when we have the general election for the president. And I'm glad this is all going on, because when was the last time did you read about or hear about anything that came out of the mouth of our president, our current president now, George W. Bush? He's in his twilight years, as we say. His presidency is winding down. No one really cares what he has to say anymore, because he only has a couple months left now until he leaves office. You know, he leaves office next January 09, and what a joyous and celebratory day that will be. I swear to God, that'll be like every bar in the country the day that George W. Bush stepped down. I think it's January 19th, 09, I believe. It's the final day of his presidency. I wish every bar and the country would give out free drinks to the people who drink, because wow, it's a joyous day, you know, and it won't be a joyous day if John McCain wins. Can you? I can't even imagine the outcome of what would happen to the state of America if John McCain ended up winning the election. We're basically saying we give elected another Bush a night in office. So it would be a bad thing if John McCain was to win. I know he's a senator, and I know he's a senator from my home state, Arizona, the greatest state in the country. But it doesn't make a difference. He's a senator from my home state. I could think he would be a horrible president. And we're already, America, the U.S. is already in a deep shithole that we can't seem to dig ourselves out of. If we only end up getting John McCain in the White House, we end up digging deeper. We might as well just build ourselves a permanent septic tank. You know, this is the U.S. and this is a permanent metal septic tank, and we're permanently in here. Because if that would happen, if McCain wins, then hello? Hey. Filming. For what? Okay. Okay, well, let me just call you right back then. Oh, well, let me just call you right back. Let's rewind. Oh, but anyway, we will be in a permanent septic tank if John McCain won, because we're already for the past 8 years been in enough trouble as it is. Can you imagine how much more trouble we'll be in if John McCain won? So that's something to think about, and it's not who you vote for, it's who you vote against. The second thing I want to talk about is, we all know I love Lute, you know, one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time. But we all know what happened last year, last basketball season. He stepped down and took a leave of absence. And anyways, Kevin O'Neal, the new coach, an assistant coach, took over. And anyways, now Lute Olson is coming back, and now I can feel bad for the new coach because he has been told that he was going to replace Lute Olson. Now Lute Olson is coming back next year, and the look on that Kevin O'Neal face is like, I feel sorry for that guy. But anyways, the U of A basketball team didn't do this good this year. I don't know if it's because Lute Olson didn't coach them this year. But the point is it's going to take a couple more years before the U of A basketball team gets back to the national playing level how it was 10 years ago. And enough of that. A third thing I want to talk about is we passed the 4,000 U.S. death casualty mark. It's now over 4,000 soldiers who have come home in a coffin, and it doesn't seem like there's no end in sight. And the thing is that really gets to me is that once George W. Bush steps down and a new president takes over, that new president is going to have to deal, and it doesn't matter who it is, they're going to have to deal with the consequences of President W. Bush doing what he did in Iraq. And there's still going to be U.S. servicemen and women coming home in the coffin. And who's going to tell the parents once again, hey, we have a new president, and it's the same things that are going to keep going on. You know, and if I'm correct, I'm not really sure that this is for the record, but I think Hillary Clinton said she would bring him home if she was to win the presidency, and that would be a good thing. But then the bad thing about that, if they all come home at once, who can forget back in 1975, I believe, when back during the early 70s, when the Vietnam War was going, we ended up leaving Vietnam, pulling out, the fall Saigon happened. It's not called that anymore in the city, by the way. But that happened back then. And we can all remember that there were people trying to hold on to the helicopters and planes leaving the airstrips and the buildings of in the city, while all U.S. forces and personnel evacuated. And they did that back in, I believe, April '75, so which makes it 33 years ago, I think. But anyways, if we were to do that now, that would happen. All these Iraqi people will be like, trying to get onto these U.S. warships and airplanes and helicopters because we'd be pulling out all at once. So we all got to remember that there's a total drastic, massive change if we all were to pull out all at once. So we have to think about this intelligently and say, do we pull out little by little or do we pull out all at once? So that's a tricky question, because what happens then? What happens, just say tomorrow morning, hypothetically, all U.S. presidents out of Iraq tomorrow. Everybody's leaving. In reality, it takes several months just to get up and leave. You got to remember, you got millions and millions of tons of army and war equipment and civilian heads got to leave. So it gets take months and months just to get out of there. And it's not going to be a one-day thing. So once that happens, the last day that all U.S. people are in Iraq and they end up leaving, what happens then? Does their civil war get bigger in terms of more casualties, or there'll be no more infighting and somehow Islamic government takes place of the new government right now? So it's a messy subject. It's a one subject mess I would want to get into if I was the incoming president. Imagine you're Hillary Clinton or John McCain and you got to deal with the fact that you got a bunch of trash and garbage you got to put up with. And no thanks to George W. Bush. My God, these have been the worst 8 years. Not in my life, I'm saying that, but in terms of American policy, how America is viewed to the international community, we're the laughing stock, and no one pays attention to us anymore. And it's funny, the whole world wants to be us. The whole world likes Levi jeans. The whole world loves Nike. The whole world loves iPods, but yet they hate us. What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy show, the continuation of episode 189. So I hope you enjoyed the earlier segment. Anyways, the big news in Tucson lately, it has been, Lute Olson. Lute Olson this, Lute Olson that, Lute Olson this, Lute Olson that, Lute Olson this, Lute Olson that. Don't get me wrong, I love Lute Olson. I love the fact that he took the U of A basketball team to the 1997 National Championship 11 years ago, as a matter of fact, this year. And that was one of the greatest things Tucson has ever gone through when they came back with the national championship in their hands. And remember 4th Avenue street riots, and we got national recognition, and we made the cover of Sports Illustrated. And that was a magical and memorable year. So thank you, Lute Olson. Okay, now that was 11 years ago. Now, Lute Olson, you either shape up or get the fuck out, cause you left in November for some unspecific reason. Now it turns out that you had some health ailment, and then it turns out you were going through a divorce, and you let Kevin O'Neal take over the basketball team, your successor. And anyways, he took over the basketball program. We all know what happened. They had an okay year. They were able to keep the streak going to the NCAA tournament, and that's a good achievement in itself. But anyways, Lute Olson came back, and he had no sensitivity whatsoever. Apparently, they let Kevin O'Neal go Kevin O'Neill apparently had some recruits that he recruited, and Lute Olson let them go. And then Lute Olson did this press conference several days ago. It was kind of shameful. I felt bad for the guy. I felt sorry for him because it's not the way that I envision a great coach acting, and he ain't no Britney Spears either, folks. So Lute Olson, you know, all I gotta say, you know, I'm sorry for your health ailment. So I'm sorry for your divorce. But you know, you let Kevin O'Neill take over the basketball team. You should have let him kept it. Now you're back, and there's so much drama around this U of A basketball, and it's not necessarily about the players. And you know, God knows they're all trying hard enough anyway. But it's such a spectacle, media spectacle, that the U of A basketball program it has sunk to the level of, well, like what I call unacceptable levels of what the word it's unacceptable level of showing no gratitude whatsoever, pretty much, to Tucson by acting like the way he's acting, and you know, and I heard so many people say this, not only at my place of employment, but on the street. You know, like they're not even gonna watch the next coming season of U of A basketball. They're done with it. And you know what? I hate to say I'm fed up with it too, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna watch any more U of A basketball games. And that's silly to say, but my interest in the team has gone down considerably since the last year and a half. And now with this bullshit thing that Lute Olson has pulled off, and not only that, but it's a national spectacle too. All these sports programs all over the country are talking about Lute Olson's actions, and what a way to go, Lute! What a way to go! You just alienated me, I think, and I get the feeling if Lute Olson alienated me, call me crazy, he alienated pretty much half of Tucson. So that says a lot. So enough about that. Second thing I want to talk about in this segment is the war continues. Since the last time I taught, it's not a very cool thing to talk about, but the 4,000 casualty mark was surpassed. So now we're working on 4,500 total deaths from U.S. soldiers in Iraq. And here's the thing: all we've been talking about is the presidential campaign. We seem to lose sight of the fact that no one's talking about the war or education, for that matter. And it's pretty much right now because Hillary and Obama constantly bickering with each other, and while John McCain has a look on his face like he does not know what he's doing, you know. And so that's even scarier. And you know, I'm official Hillary Clinton. This is a Democratic Party show. Seems like she ain't gonna get the nomination, but I still would vote for Barack Obama, because not who you vote for, it's who you vote against. And sure, a lot of people might be saying, call me crazy, you're a fucking idiot for talking about your political affiliation, but you know what? This is talk, not talk radio, this is talk TV, because I do what Christian Slater does in that movie Pump Up the Volume, and that is talk hard. Ain't that right? Talk hard. But anyways, yeah, I feel so bad for Hillary Clinton. I love that woman. I have loved that woman since I was a senior in high school. That's when the 1992 presidential election was going on. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Not that year. Not when I was in elementary school in 1992. I mean. But anyway, I feel bad because she has spent so much money, God knows how much, to get to be the Democratic nomination, and it looked like she might not get it. And you know what? Barack Obama and the Hillary Clinton thing, it's out of control. It's out of control. It's like, it's everywhere, every magazine I read, and you know, it's a good thing, but it's got to come down to one person now. Before we know it, August is going to be here, and November is going to be here, and to think that the shifting of gears and the new presidency is going to be happening, and I just hope it's the right people, because God forbid, and knock on wood, and when I'm knocking on wood, I'm knocking on wood for the whole world, pretty much. See, I carry the weight of the whole world on my shoulders, because I'm that kid in that Hey Jude song by the Beatles. But anyways, I'll be back. I'll be back. Sorry guys, that was the director of the FBI. He wanted to put out the files on my name. But anyways, on the subject of the presidential campaign, my God, so much, what's the word I'm looking for? So much sensationalism with this campaign, especially on the Democratic side. Enough of that. I'll take that. I'm sorry, guys. It's a costume change. Better. I feel better. Anyways, enough about the presidential campaign. Oh yeah, this one, before I forget, I am an avid reader. I'm a voracious reader. I read everything I can get my hands on. And the television will attest, that is to be a true fact. And I read a lot, and I read pretty much anything that has a story. But anyways, on the subject of the books, I forgot. I'm having a brain fart. I've been having brain farts lately, guys. So let me get back to you real quick. And action. Oh, anyways, I'm an avid reader, and I read a lot, and I'm a voracious reader. And a couple of days ago, or I should say a week ago, I went to go pick up the newspaper. I used to have the Arizona Daily Star subscribed, sent to my house. I had to stop for a while because money issues. But anyways, and I always try to read every day. If I can't buy it, I go to the library or read at work. But anyways, the Arizona Daily Star went up. There was a 50% increase in terms of how much they are now. I mean, remember in the good old days when Arizona Daily Star was 50 cents? Not no more. It went up 50%. It is now 75 cents. So it's been a week since I bought the paper, folks. And and that's not a good thing, because if I don't read the newspaper, then you guys don't know nothing about what's going on in La La Land. So it's been a tough decision, and what I want to know, the numbnuts, whoever decided to, hey, let's raise up the prices on the newspaper, and let's forget about the fact that people are reading less things nowadays. People don't read books anymore, or that's what studies from Harvard say, that no one read as much for entertainment value only. So so let's make people not read it at all. That's probably what they're thinking. So they wrote 75 cents. I was on the Star, and I talked to a Circle K clerk, and there's a stack still there in the afternoon, and nobody wants to pay that extra quarter. It's horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. Say that's all you have at 50 cents. 2 quarters, that's perfect. Now you gotta come up with 2 dimes and a nickel. You might well get paid a freaking $1 for the paper. So Arizona Daily Star, in your editorial section and your front page, you guys do this thing called Thorns and Flowers. Well, you guys are getting a huge fucking thorn. You guys are getting a thorn that is so big, it's like you guys are really sticking it to us, aren't you? And God, and I get the feeling that last week I bet a teenager, maybe by the age of 14, 15, barely had gotten into the habit of picking up the newspaper somewhere for 50 cents. And then one day, 5 days in his routine of picking up the newspaper, they tell him he needs an extra quarter. And he probably boycotts the paper for the rest of his life and never reads the paper. And thank you, Arizona Daily Star. So you guys are making it more impossible for people to get the news. So what I've been doing for the past week is watching the 5:30 network news. And then if I'm up, I continue to watch the 10 o'clock local news. And even then, the 10 o'clock local news aren't the greatest thing in the world. That's why I watch network TV. But anyways, Arizona Daily Star, you got the biggest thorn ever, you know. And the day that you guys get flowers is the day when you guys give out free paper for the rest of our lives. Until then, you guys got a huge thorn. A thorn so thick and big, only the child of life could take it out of you guys' side. But what else? What else do I want to rag on this week? It's been a horrible week, guys. I swear to God. Oh yeah, and how can I forget? This is the anniversary. A moment of silence. The Kurt Cobain anniversary, or I should say, suicide death anniversary. But anyways, now his mom is saying like, oh, when Kurt Cobain was a teenager, he used to sleep a lot. I mean, a lot. And kind of think of it, ain't that one of the signs of depression? No, it means that he's shooting up heroin every night in the closet. Yes, that's a big sign of depression. But anyways, 14 years ago this week, that the world was shocked at the suicide of Kurt Cobain. And remember, for 2 years afterward, there was the biggest conspiracy craze ever. It was like Courtney Love did it, and the guy, the lead singer from Mudhoney did it, and you know, and then they were saying that like a vampire did it, and you know, and he's really alive somewhere, and all I gotta say, that was 14 years ago, and for me, 14 years ago is a different lifetime. Back then, I was a punk. I didn't learn my lesson back then. But anyways, that was the final years of me being a punk. But I remember the day Kurt Cobain died, and I'll not tell you guys. It's a little. Let's go to Masterpiece Theater for a second. And it's Ray. And here it is. I remember the day Kurt Cobain was found dead in his house, and I was working at, what was I working? I was working at a I should say at a nameless court. I won't say what court I was working at, but I was working at a court in downtown. I used to be part of the work crew there. But anyways, I was there, and my boss said, you have a phone call line 1, Ray. I'm like, alright. So I stopped what I was doing, and I had some headphones on with a CD. And of course I'm here in Nevada. And this is 1994, and I'm talking, I can talk about this, right? This is back then. I was baked off my ass. I smoked a hooter before I went into work. I think with several buddies of mine, I think. They shall remain nameless. But anyway, so I'm rocking out on my headphones. I'm doing my thing on the work crew. When the boss said, Ray, you got a phone call line 1. So I go down all the flights upstairs, and I go in the office, and I pick up the phone. It's my father, and he's like, has anyone told you? I was like, no, what? What is it? And he's like, Kurt Cobain shot himself. They found his body. And I, oh, really? All right, well, yeah, good night, Dad. And I hung up the phone. And the boss said, what's wrong? Nothing wrong at all, sir. Nothing wrong at all. So I walked back up the flights of stairs, went back to work, and here's the thing. When I was walking up the flights of stairs, I was so angry. And I remember this distinctively. I remember taking off the CD player and it, like, just putting it on the ground and smashing it. And then, and I couldn't listen to it for almost like, took me maybe 2 years to get back into it. Because prior to that, I had a hitchhike to go see Nirvana. So in terms of coolness, I just couldn't go back and listen to that crap. Oh, that's how I used to think back then. But now, 14 years later, and wow, you know, so much Nirvana product out there. A couple years after Kurt Cobain died, I got me and the television. We got so lucky to meet Chris Novoselic, right? Chris Novoselic at Club Congress in 1995. One of the coolest days of my entire life, guys. It's like saying we met. Ray Manzarek in a way, you know, it's that someone sat close to that person. But anyways, that's that 14 years ago this week. And you know, fuck it. I'll still continue on the story of the Kurt Cobain. It seems like there's always a new audience. Every year there's always a new audience. I remember last summer, a very cool kid I met, maybe like 19, 20 years old, absolutely was batshit about Nirvana. And so I told him some tidbits that I have known about Kurt. He was more blown away than anything. And I think I started him off on this next journey. And for me, Nirvana, in a way, requires listening if you want to be considered a music fan, I think. But then again, everyone says classical music is required music. But I like classical music too, not get too much of it, and only by myself. What else? Enough about me. Entourage should be coming out pretty soon. Right now, April 7th. Entourage. It's a very funny show, and I really can't talk much about it because there ain't no new episode to talk about. But I want to say Kevin Dillon made an awesome movie back in the 80s that I watched a couple nights ago called The Blob. Alright, this kills Call Me Crazy episode 189. I feel like I should be like in a Francis Ford Coppola film, you know. Like, what's that movie, Apocalypse Now?